Okay, hi all, welcome to part 2 of our imaginative, which also means illustrative, typography tutorial. Okay, so I went ahead and made my mouse size a little bit bigger, so hopefully that'll make it easier to see. We're going to go to the type tool, and you are going to pick out a new word that you want to use. I'm going to use the word hand-drawn because that is the look that we are going to manipulate this text for. So I'm going to go all caps. Okay, hand drawn. So we're going to go ahead and select this with the object select tool, and you're going to go to type and create outlines, or shift, command or control, and O. And we're going to be doing that for a good number of the things that we're going to do. So you can also just kind of drag this around and manipulate it in this way. I'm going to kind of stretch it so it's like each character is about as tall as it is wide. And I'm going to show you a really cool trick to make your type have a hand-drawn look to it. So what we're going to do is, with this selected, we're going to go to Object, and we are going to go to Effects, Distort and Transform. So again, we're going to Effects, Distort and Transform, and we're going to go to Roughen. And at first it's not going to look that great. Well, I mean, if that's the look you're going for, I guess it looks fantastic. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to smooth it, and you can play around with the amount. If you do too much, it gets out of control and it doesn't look like type anymore. So you don't want to do too much. I'm going to do, let's see, detail maybe around here. And I'm going to take down the size, I think, to like 3%. And that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, if we look, this text has a pretty hand-drawn look to it. What you're going to notice is that although the effect has been applied, the path has not been manipulated yet. And a lot of times you're going to want to have the actual path of each letter be expanded. It should follow along with the edge of the actual graphic. So in order to do that, we're going to do something called expanding the appearance. It does make it permanent, however, though. And so, right now, if we go to the appearance panel, which is this like sun, you can see that the effects is on here, and we can actually just turn it off and see what it looked like before the effect. If we expand the appearance, this, as an effect in the appearance panel is going to disappear because we're basically making it permanent. So if we go to Object, Expand Appearance, there we go. Now you can see, like if we get our direct selection tool, you can see that these paths are following along with what the effect did. So we essentially made the effect permanent. All right, so that's hand-drawn. The next thing that we're gonna look at is something called smoothing, which is really, really fun. So I am gonna grab my text tool again. I am going to do the word smooth this time. And I want to pick a different font for this, something that's a little bit more decorative, because it's going to give us a little bit more character. So I'm going to come on over here, and I'm going to filter for my decorative fonts and see what I can find. So I want something where the characters have a good amount of definition, but see, actually, I picking a font is sometimes just the hardest part of all this. So let's see here. Maybe I don't want to filter for those. There's actually, this one right here. This is one that I just used a little bit ago. So it's got a lot of character. And it has some bendy kind of fun shapes going on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smooth tool to just further abstract these letters a little bit here. So with the object selection tool, I'm gonna have smooth selected. I'm gonna do that Shift, Command, or Control, and O, and go ahead and outline this text. And then what I am going to do, let's go ahead and just make it a little bit bigger. We are going to go to Object, and we are going to go to Path, and then we are going to go to Smooth. So Object, Path, and then Smooth. And this smoothing path tool, I use it constantly in illustration. It's really nice for working out kinks. So what you can see is that it comes in and it's just smoothing, and you can take it all the way to where they become very abstract shapes. But you see how fun it takes those already fun shapes from the font, and then as we smooth it, it just makes it a little more melty. The characters are less defined, but depending on what I'm trying to do, I want this kind of goopy look to my text. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. All I need to do is click off somewhere, and that will disappear. And this is permanent, so we don't have to expand the appearance or anything. It was manipulating the path in real time as I was changing that. So just so you know, with that smooth tool, you do not need to expand the appearance, but the smoothness is, it's permanent. All right. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the blob brush, which is a very, very cool tool. And so the blob brush can allow you to add, some nice illustrative elements to your letters. So what I'm going to do is grab my text tool. I am going to write bunny. I am actually going to, I'm going to actually go ahead and smooth this text out as well, because I really think that for what we're going to do with the blob brush tool, this would look really, really nice. But first, I'm going to add some elements with the blob brush tool, and then we will go through and smooth it. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so this word bunny, I'm going to go ahead and Shift, Command, or Control, and O to make outlines. You're going to notice that if you work with text manipulation like this, you're going to be just creating outlines for text all the time. So that will probably become a hotkey that you're very familiar with. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup these for right now. So again, this just lets you individually kind of manipulate them. They're not in a group anymore. I'm going to take this word and move it down a little bit. And I'm going to change the color just because. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up my libraries here. Now I have a bunch of colors saved in what I call my colors library, but you can also change the colors for fun and use whatever colors you already might have in your color library, or you can add them. All right, so how about, that's too light. How about this purple? All right, so here we've got a purple. So we're gonna grab what's called the blob brush tool, and that is actually hidden underneath the paintbrush tool. So when you look at your tools here, you're going to see the paintbrush, and if you click down and hold it down, you're going to see the blob brush tool. And here it is. Now you can change the size of it by using your bracket keys on your keyboard. These are the keys to the right of your P. So if you use the left bracket, it's going to make your brush get smaller. And if you use the right bracket, it makes your brush bigger. So I want you to make this the size of, whatever size you want. I am going to put bunny ears on this B, so you can kind of see how you can add an illustrative element to a letter with this just adding to the path that already exists for the letter B. So I'm just going to add some ear shapes like so. So there's one bunny ear, and I'm going to go ahead and add a second sort of ear. And you can see it kind of smooths that out as you finish up the stroke. And then I'm going to come over to the Y, and I'm going to add a bit of a bunny tail here. So maybe something like this. And see, what's so cool is when you select the object, you can see that it's just added to the path. So the blob brush tool is a really cool way to just add some illustrative elements. So let me see, what else can I do here? What can I do about some feet? So I am going to do the blob brush tool and maybe do like a big funny floppy foot down here, and then a big funny floppy foot right here. Very cool. So the blob brush tool can be really, really helpful. And then maybe even, what if I just did some little bunny ears? Here. And here. So that's looking kind of cool. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my object selection tool. Let's group these back together again. So Command G. Of course, if we check in our layers panel, we're going to see that they're grouped together here. So fantastic. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to Object and Path, and then Smooth. And we're just going to smooth this a little bit here, just to give it a little bit more abstract character. Cool. So now you have the word bunny illustrated with bunny parts. We've got bunny ears, bunny feet, bunny tail. Very cool. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is take a look at envelope distort, which is super fun. So let's go ahead and create another text box, and let's choose, I'm going to choose, I don't know what I'm going to choose. Some kind of font. I think we'll go decorative with this one. And let's just see here. How about, oh, that one's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go with Benny Black. I end up using Benny Black for a lot of things. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And then we're going to grab the object selection tool, select it, and then I'm going to hit Shift Command or Control O to outline this text. And I'm just going to resize it a little bit here. Now we're going to use something called an envelope distort. Let me just change the color of this text to make it a little bit more exciting. How about this purple-ish blue? Okay, so all we need to do is go ahead and choose the text, and then we're going to go to Option, Envelope Distort, and we're actually going to make it with a mesh. So we make it with the mesh, and you're going to see a choice of rows and columns here. I have 4 in here by default, and that's probably fine. You can make it more simple or more complex. if you would like. I think I'm going to go down one column. I'm going to hit OK. Now, if you hit your direct selection tool here, what you can do is you can come in and you can select individual parts of this distortion tool and do all kinds of cool things. So what I'm actually going to do is I like to select whole rows sometimes to start off. So what I'm doing is I'm just shift selecting these anchor points of the wave tool, and I'm just going to pull those all up. And then for the second or the third column, I suppose, I'm going to take these and pull them all down. And then I might just grab this corner one and give it a little flare. You can adjust these handles as you wish as well. And look at that. Isn't that cool? So we have the word wave, and it's truly doing a wave, and it makes it more illustrative, and it's giving physical characteristics to the text that, the text is describing. Now, you can select this and go to Object and Expand, and I believe you can just leave Object and Fill selected, and then we hit Expand, and that's going to make these permanent. Now, this is in a group with individual, letters, and then you could further go in there and do some more things to those, some other manipulations to those letters if you wish. So anyways, that's pretty cool. So I think we will stop there for this part 2 of the tutorial, and I will finish up with everything in the next video. So I will see you then. Okay, bye.